Good morning. Today is a sea day, so let me tell you what happened to us on boarding day. Basically, New York kicked our butt. We were there 2.5 days prior to boarding. We walked and did so much that we were exhausted by the time we got on the ship. We literally, after sail away, came to the room, unpacked, realized how tired we were, went and grabbed food off the buffet, and we were in bed by 8 o'clock. So, word of advice, if you're going to go to New York before a cruise, be prepared to, miss the first little bit of your cruise because you'll be tired. Or don't do as much as we did. Anyway, but today is a new day. It's a sea day. You can hear the wonderful swish of the water outside of our balcony. And I thought I would take the camera and show you the rest of the ship because we didn't do a whole lot on boarding day. Let's go. I'm up on deck 15. So this is the Lido deck, but it's broken into sections. And the first part that you come to forward, because our cabin is forward, is the bamboo pool. So the bamboo pool is decks 15 and 16. It has a retractable roof. And this is I'm not going to call it a quiet pool because it's definitely not quiet, but a quieter. There's no entertainment back here. Things like that are up here. But all the pools are really good sized pools on this ship. So there's a pool, 2 hot tubs on deck 15, and then 2 more hot tubs on deck 16, and those are overlooking the ocean, which is pretty cool. The main pool itself is called the Atmosphere Pool. So you've got decks 15 down there, I'm up on 16, and then it even goes up higher for more sun decks. There are over 4,000 people on this ship, and this deck has never felt super crowded. Maybe it's just because nobody's out at the same time or what, but it's never felt really crowded out here. Sail away was a lot of fun. I like these pools because they're big pools. So many ships have little bitty pools on the Lido and nobody can really get into them. These are big. They're holding like a dance class, like yoga or something. Not dance, but yoga, some sort of exercise or something down below here. But everybody's just chilling this morning. I love sea days. Okay, it's not yoga, it's a stretching session. And people all around the deck are doing it, not just down there, they're even up here doing the moves. The walking track also goes around deck 16 aft, from midship by the Atmosphere Pool all the way to the aft pool. The Horizon Pool is aft on deck 16, and this is an adults only area, which I think is pretty cool. Smallest pool of the ship back here, but a little bit more privacy. Lots of seats back here too, which I think is cool because a lot of people like me like that aft view, so you can easily find a sun lounger back here, and it's got its own Horizons bar. Once we go inside on deck 16, it did start to sprinkle on me a little bit, so it's time to go inside for a minute. In here is an indoor sports complex, so I think this is really cool. These are usually outside in the elements, but this is a big sports court. I think they're playing pickleball right now. I've seen them play basketball, soccer, all kinds of sports right in here. But it's not just that. There is you can ride Indy cars, there's a bowling alley, there's an arcade, there's a sports bar. There's a lot going on in this area back here. And the gym is on deck 16 midship. This is the most interesting gym I've seen location-wise because typically they're at the front of the ship, so you get that bow view. This one overlooks the pool. Totally different than what we're used to. Look who I found.
She busted me in the gym. Get my good side, honey. These machines are cool. I've never seen these before. So it's got a little computer on each one of them. It tells you how many reps you're doing, how many sets you're doing, and what weight. And then when you're done, like I am, it gives you 1 minute for rest time.
Resting.
Pretty neat.
On deck 17 is the kids clubs. It's called Do Re Mi Land, but it's all Lego themed. Get my little Lego friends. Cameron and Colby would absolutely love this. Correction, the kids club is on deck 18, not 17. I got that wrong. So we can't go in the actual kids club because there's kids in there, but you get the idea. It's up here. It's a cool kids club. It's got Legos. Kids are going to love it. Also back here on deck 18 is the teens club called the Attic Club. And the teen spaces are always so cool on these ships. There's not a lot in the rooms, but they're just chill vibe spaces. They even have their own bar. Obviously, they're not going to serve them alcohol, but they have their own little bar in here. Funny thing, on the same deck as the kids clubs is an adults-only area called the Sky Lounge. You know what? We just found this place. We hadn't seen it. We've been walking around the ship and missed this place completely because we never actually have seen the kids clubs either. Funny how you find things when you need to do a ship tour, right? This is a really cool area because it overlooks the pool deck.
This is probably one of the coolest areas to come and get views of the ocean. You have a panoramic view all the way around and a view of the Lido deck, like Lisa said. Now, let me just say this is like the most active ship I think I've ever been on. Every single morning they have stretching sessions, aerobic sessions, and there's a lot of people out there doing it. That's really cool.
It is breakfast time. And on deck 15 aft is the buffet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, late night. There's all kinds of food here all the time. Food's been really good on the ship too. I know this MSC has gotten mixed reviews in the past, but we've had good luck with it. 2 tips for you on this buffet. Number 1, go all the way to the back of the buffet. There's food on either side, but in the very, very back, it's nice and quiet. People forget to come all the way back here because they get so excited because they're seeing food up front that they don't make it back here. So it's a peaceful area to come eat, and it's the same food back here that you're going to find on the sides. Tip number 2, get the breakfast potatoes. They're delicious. They're roasted potatoes covered in like olive oil or something are really good.
Or something.
I don't know what's on them, but they're good. Up at the very tip top of the ship on deck 19 is the Polar Aqua Park and ropes course. I don't do ropes courses. They look like so much fun, but my balance completely sucks and I am not good at them. But the views up here are spectacular. You're so high up. I guess it's early in the day, that's why there's no kids out right now, but this is one of the best water parks I've seen for kids in a long time. It's really cool. Now that we've seen all the upper decks, it's time to go inside the ship. So we are on deck 7 now. So decks 7, 6, and part of 5 are the promenade area. But first and foremost, forward on deck 7 is the spa. We are big spa people. We got the thermal pass for the week. My only complaint, it's a good thermal suite, but there are no windows. So I'm used to the thermal suites that have a view from your stone loungers or something like that. Other than that, it's pretty good. We've been in here a couple of times, and this is the promenade. I love this. So several ships that we've been on have had a promenade area, but none of them have this screen. This is so cool. It lights up throughout the day with different displays. It'll change, every hour or so with a different picture up here. And certain times of the day they will do shows, so it changes constantly. It's really, really cool. I really like this area. So there's a lot going on. In the evenings, there's live music every night in different venues. So you'll have live music downstairs on 6. You'll have it up here in the pub. Right over here on this area, you will have karaoke at night. We've never seen an area that was not active. So let's take a closer look. This is the karaoke venue at night, and let me tell you, it is packed. Every night they have karaoke. The pub will open late afternoon. It's still morning time. That's why it's not open yet. Always a lot going on in here. This is a good area for trivia. I've seen trivia in here. There's live music every night with an acoustic guitarist. They do serve food in here, but it's bar food and it's at an additional cost, but not very much. We haven't had anything in here, but our friends did, and they said the food was really good. Still on deck 7, we're getting into the specialty dining area. So right here behind me is the sushi bar and teppanyaki, and then on that side of the promenade is Butcher's Cut, which is the steakhouse. Getting towards the aft area on deck 7 is the champagne bar, and this area this is where it gets swanky, okay? So this is where you've got your Swarovski Swarovski, am I saying that wrong? Swarovski crystal staircases leading down into 6 and 5, glass ceilings, kind of over the top over here, but it's a neat area to be in. Okay, so I was a little off on my area of the ship. The champagne bar is really still midship. It's at the other end of the promenade, so you can see behind me the other vantage point of the promenade. Such a neat area. But now we actually are going to walk aft, and that's where the casino is. And all the way aft on deck 7 is the Carousel Lounge. Here's where they do their, what do you call it, like Cirque du Soleil shows. We haven't seen one yet, but I'm hoping to by the end of the cruise. I'm on deck 6 now, and since I'm already aft, I'll show you what's down here. This is one of the main dining restaurants, so MDRs. These are complimentary. You're going to be assigned a MDR and a dining time unless you are Aurora or Yacht Club. So if you're Bella or Fantastica, you will be eating in one of these. Here's the first one. This is something I just find funny. So since COVID, they don't typically do communal dining anymore. So you're not going to be seated at a table of 8 with strangers, sort of. These are the tables for 2 behind me. So you can see there's not a whole lot of space in between each table. So even though you technically have your own table, you still feel like you have table mates. Still on deck 6, when you walk through that first MDR, and I'm not going to try and pronounce it because it's in Italian and I'll butcher it, but once you walk through the hallway of that one, then you get to the Panorama Restaurant, which is another MDR. Deck 5 aft is another main dining room called Waves. And I just love these grand entrances going into the MDRs. At first glance, you're like, oh God, this is so much wasted space, but it's not, because when you think about it, when it's time for dinner, everybody that's got a 5:30 seating or a 7:30 seating or a 9:30 seating is going to be coming here all at one time. And you need space to get everybody in. Deck 5 is the Atrium, as I like to call it. So this is one of the first places you're going to see when you board the ship. There is guest services here, the excursions desk here, a bar, of course, and then we have some live entertainment. This is where you get your first glance of those beautiful staircases, of the panoramic, I can't think of what to call it, the screen above the promenade. Anyway, it's a really grand first view when you come in. Pro tip, if you did a loyalty status match with MSC, they're the only cruise line that does that, which I think is really cool, then sometimes it won't show up on your key cards when you first checked in. Ours did not. So we had what looked like first-time cruisers MSC cards. But come to find out, if you come to guest services, they can look up your loyalty number, add it to, and give you the proper card. On deck 6, right above the atrium area, is the Edge Cocktail Bar. Of course, cruise ships are going to have bars everywhere, so there's one here too. If you can't get a drink down below, just come up a deck. But there's one here, lots of seating here, and on the other side is the photo gallery. Then we get into all the shops. Lots of shops. Also on deck 6, now in the promenade area, is Ocean Cay, which is the seafood specialty dining restaurant. Oh man, I've yet to break down and get anything from here, but there's this gelato and crepes and milkshakes and smoothies. They are at an extra cost, but not priced too badly. But it looks so yummy. Everything in this display is made out of chocolate because this is the chocolate shop here. Yum. If you're like me and Jason and like Mexican food, hello, there's Hola Tacos. It is specialty dining, so it costs a little bit extra, but the prices are really good, and for like $17, it's all you can eat. Gotta try this one. Heading back forward in the promenade, almost to the theater, is the Meraviglia bar. There's trivia going on right now. Well, I can't take you in the Broadway Theater right now because there's a private event going on, but I can insert a little bit of what a show looks like here. And there's more shops down here. This is different. This is not like a cruise ship store. This is an actual like clothing boutique. High-end stuff, really pretty from what I'm seeing on the dresses. So if you forgot like a dressy dress and want to come in here and buy one, or if men forgot something for dinner, they have Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein here. Of course, they have their purses and stuff like that you're going to find on every cruise ship. But I've never seen this many clothes, like not branded clothes, not cruise line branded clothes, in a shop. Different. We are hanging out over by the bamboo pool right now, and we've hit some waves because it looks like a tidal wave is going off in the swimming pool right now. It's sloshing back and forth, back and forth. I tell you what, we see this more often than not on sea days, because when you're trucking it, I think the captain came on a little while ago and said we're going 19 knots, between 19 and 20 knots. You're gonna get some waves like that. But they've closed the retractable roof. It rained a little bit this morning, and I really like this pool. I really, really like this area. I love retractable roofs for that reason. Well, that's the ship. That's the MSC Meraviglia. I've showed you, I think, every area that I could think of. If I missed something, sorry, I didn't mean to. Overall, we really like the ship. So it's big, but not too big. The areas feel open, and I mean, look where I'm standing now. It's completely wide open right here. A lot of things going on throughout the ship. Very busy, lots of activities, so you're definitely not going to get bored. We're going to have a full, in-depth likes and dislikes of MSC after this cruise, so stay tuned for that. Now, we're going to go enjoy the rest of our sea day and see what we can get into.